Okay. Oh, you already had your introduction, right? JuJu Chan, extraordinaire. On an actor's resume, usually on the bottom, they like to list what they call special abilities and skills. She has a bunch. Tell me about a few of them.
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone and thanks for having me here. Well, I do martial arts since I was a kid, that's how people know me now as a female action actress. And when I first started, I was a beauty queen before, and then I did reality shows in Hong Kong, and then got scouted by my first manager to release my album in Hong Kong.
A singer, too.
And then after that, I started working on films, and because I also represented Hong Kong in Taekwondo and Thai boxing, that's how people started noticing me doing action, and then I started to get roles as an action girl. And
so you were actually a real fighter, not movie fighter at first.
Yeah, I started since I was 10.
Okay, that's pretty crazy. So I imagine with all those great skills, it makes you that much more valuable as a performer, actress, and you can put that into action actress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now the audience want to see real action on camera, on screen. So being an actress who can actually perform her own stunts will definitely help during the filming process. The fight choreographer can choreograph longer pieces for me. They don't need a double to come in. I can do all the action, and it will be, the scene will be more epic, more longer and faster to shoot. So I think that's definitely something I can bring to the projects. And that's why I've been constantly being, offered roles that are action related.
And that goes back to, I guess, expanding your skill set to make yourself more valuable and employable. So I think that's probably a real good key to your success and sets you apart from just an actress that can kind of do it.
Thanks.
And I find as a coordinator, it's really difficult when your production tells you, here's your actress and make the best fight scene possible. And she doesn't have any kind of a training. So you can only cheat so much, even with a stunt double. You still need to come full on their face to really sell it. Since there's people like Keanu Reeves, they got Mark Dacascos or something.
Yeah, he's back there.
He's back there. So even Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde, she trained quite a bit. She still had a stunt double, but it really does help tell the story.
Yes, it totally does. And also, I think being an actor in Hollywood right now, you can't just sit there and wait, or you think you took some acting classes and that's enough for you to be an actor. It's actually more than that. Being an actor requires you to constantly learning new skills, practicing, even when you don't have a job, when you're auditioning but not booking anything, you're still constantly has to practice your craft, learn new skills. If you want to be an action actor, you have to constantly learning new action moves and skills and styles. And that's why I do multiple styles in action, because as an action person, I can't just stick to one particular type of style, because every role that I play will be different and requires different style of martial arts.
I mean, and that comes back to, let's say, what the story's about, what the genre, whether it's a present day street fight is completely different from like stylized Hong Kong period piece. Cause you've done both spectrums from Crouching Tiger, then all the way to, I guess, is Wu Assassins considered a little more gritty street?
Yeah, it's more MMA, more realistic fighting in Wu Assassins. And I was actually very happy to play that role. Because of that role, I cut my hair. I originally have long hair. And a lot of people thought I auditioned for that role. I actually auditioned for another role when I was auditioning for Wu Assassins 2 years ago. It was the role Ying Ying, if you have watched the TV series. And then after auditioning and meeting the showrunner, he saw something different about me, and also he knows about my real martial arts skills. So he actually created a new role after meeting me. And he changed an original male bodyguard role into a female bodyguard role to Byron Man's character, Uncle Six in the show.
Right.
So, I guess in the audition process, a lot of the time actors will be very harsh on themselves, saying, "Oh, I have to win this role. I have to make the right choice." You don't really know what the producer, director, casting director actually wants. Sometimes they don't even know what they want.
Right.
So when you're stepping into an audition room, I think it's important to relax, bring the best of your version of what you think for that role out to surprise the casting director sometimes. And sometimes they might, offer you another role instead of the original role that you casted for.
Which they did.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's along with the Women's March. What you have done is, I guess, taken a man's job. The character was for a male, but they saw something special. So it's great. You actually got a part that wasn't there.
Thanks. And I think it's also partly because of the Me Too movement, that's why the showrunner wanted to create more strong female characters in the show. Because I don't think, if it's not the Me Too movement, they won't think it's necessary to create an extra strong female character in the show. So I'm very fortunate to be given this opportunity and then to allow me to showcase my martial arts in the TV show. And working with the stunt team is great because, originally, because a lot of the stunt choreographer or fight choreographer, when they first meet up with the actors who is playing one of the action roles, they don't really trust the actor that much because actors, they are not trained in stunts. So I constantly have to prove myself to them that I'm not just an actor. I have my action martial arts skills. And then also another thing that's in my way is because I'm a woman. A lot of the times, they don't not that they don't think you have the ability, but it's just most of the time, not a lot of stunt women are there already. So as an actress, will you be really able to deliver the complex choreography? So I also have to constantly prove myself to them. But once you earn their respect, then they actually really let go and work with you really well and being able to a lot of amazing movements and things. I talked to the choreographer Dan in Wu Assassins and told him I want to really do something really epic. I don't want to use any stunt double, and I want to do as long takes as we can. And I was very happy that they actually listened to me, and also we worked really well together and create some amazing fight scenes.
But that was you told me one of your favorite fight scenes in the series was
the kitchen fight in Wu Assassins. That's definitely one of my favorite fights. We actually rehearsed a week before, but we don't really have that much time because filming TV series, you only have a few hours to do a long action scene.
right.
So I guess that's also why they appreciate me not using a stunt double, because it's make everything quicker. And after shooting episode 3, which is that's where we had the kitchen fight. So the showrunner and the producers, they started writing for later episodes, and then they were like, oh, we have to write more of JuJu's character in and give her more fight scenes because it looks really good. So I'm very happy that they actually monitor the whole process and make changes to the script to, add more fight scenes to my character, which is a really rare thing before. I didn't really hear that they will make certain adjustments for, an actor that is freshly on board for the show. Because my role, you can see it grows from episode 3 onwards. But originally they didn't really know exactly how to deal with my character yet, because it's a new character invented for the show after meeting me. So I'm happy to see that a lot of showrunners right now, they will, give opportunities to work with actors to create something unique and good for the show.
But that's credit to a good showrunner that sees something to be able to make it better for the series, because action is such an important part of the storytelling in Wu Assassins. Because it's not the Wu family. It's so what would be, is there a favorite fight that you would like to do? What would you imagine as like the ultimate fight scene for you?
Wow. I mean, the action world, there are so many creativity can put in. To me, I always love working with the environment. So say if we're doing a scene in the water, how can we make it epic with maybe boats and stuff, different stuff? I mean, if you ask me particularly what I want to do right now, it's really depending on the story, something that would make sense to the story, but something that people haven't seen before. Definitely, I love longer takes and also making use with the camera angle, camera movement to achieve something that audience haven't seen before. And actually, besides my fight scenes in Wu Assassins, I also want to share one of my experience in fighting Max Zhang. Max Zhang, he's a really great action star in China and Hong Kong. And I recently worked with him on Invincible Dragon that came out last year. So in the film, we had a really long, we have like 2.5 minute fight inside a train in Hong Kong. Like those train is really not that big, but so they built a 1:1 ratio of the train car.
Replicated. Set. Cool.
Yeah, and then none of us are using a double, so we fight together. And for the Hong Kong style, it's different from Hollywood style. Hollywood style will have like a previs. We shot everything before. We know how the action scene's gonna be, and we rehearsed before we started shooting, right? But Hong Kong style is different. Hong Kong style, the fight choreographer basically think about the moves on the spot, and then the actors will have to learn it immediately, and then we shoot. So that's why for Hong Kong cinema, they like to hire actors who can do the actions for the action roles. So, and working with Max Zhang is amazing because he is a legend in the action film genre. And working with him, he taught me a lot about, the angle. And also for a girl like me, we're just really tiny fighting him. He's a lot bigger than me. I learned a lot and how to make it sell on the camera. And both of us got a lot of bruises everywhere because we were really fighting. And we were fighting in a small train. We need to make use of the pole in the train to fight as well. So we were completely injured after the fight scene.
Well, that's kind of the same for stunt people who come in. It's okay to be hurt, but not injured. So black and blue is just part of a day's work. And as long as you're not, breaking somebody's nose or really hurting somebody.
I think the serious injury I had on set was when I was filming Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Sword of Destiny. We were actually shooting the very last scene for my character. And then it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. We did 10 times already, actually. And then we had, the director wanted to do one more safety take, just for safety, to do one more. And then, my, partners, the other actress, I think she's also a bit tired because we're both tired. And then she spun the sword before I finished one more move. She kind of lost count of the moves. And then that sword go right into my eye.
Ouch.
Yeah, that moment, wow, I couldn't see anything. And then I thought I was going to go blind because it's not sharp, but it's like a hard metal sword cut right through. Well, lucky that we already got a good take, so that take was unusable. But and then they had to send me to the hospital, and then I got checked up, and then they sent my eyes. I will get a bruise and black eye for a month, and luckily it didn't really injure anything else. So it's just some blood have to be drained out and
that's
slowly.
Pretty close, too close for
but that's the last shot. And then after that it's a wrap, and then the next day, actually 2 days later, is our wrap party. A lot of people think that I'm not going to show up for the wrap party, but then I'm like, no, I have to go to the wrap party. It's because we all work together for 3.5, almost 4 months. We're family. I want to be there. But how can I show up with a super black eye and I can't even see? So at that time, I make a little iPad for myself. It's a red butterfly. I just cover myself and then show up and just party.
It's just another day at the office.
Yep. I mean, that's what you expect as being an action person. Injury is part of work, your job. I mean, if you are afraid of getting bruised or, getting hit, then you can't really be an action person. Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give some young lady out there who wants to be an action star?
I think follow your passion. If that's what you want to do, no one stop you. Because I know I love action since I was a little kid. That's how I got into learning martial arts since I was 10 years old, because I was with my father watching a lot of action movies, and I would copy what's on the screen. So say Jackie Chan jumping from building, and I'll be jumping from coffee table to dining table and break a lot of stuff. So it's a bit hard for my parents to control me, and they were like, "Oh, we better send JuJu to learn proper martial arts so she won't, injure herself." And no one in my family does martial arts, so they kind of search around what's the closest martial art school, and then there was a judo school around the corner. So that's the first discipline I learned. And then after that, I went on to do Chinese martial arts, Hongga, Wing Chun, and I self-taught myself Nunchucks. When I was young, I liked to create my own Nunchucks. So I would tie rulers together with shoelaces and then just keep copying Bruce Lee's moves. So we actually also prepared some handmade Nunchucks to...
Where is it? Oh,
where is it?
It's flying a prop department.
We just knew that we have more time. So we made this at the backstage. Yay! Hope it won't break. Yay. So anyone want to come up and learn some nunchucks with us? Come up.
And lady. Let's get a lady
Yeah.
up here too.
Hey.
These
Have
are,
you
and
used
she's
nunchucks
going to
before?
autograph this for you later. Yes.
Yeah. So you know how to do it, do you? No. Really? No. Show me what you would do with when you have nunchucks. Yeah, it doesn't. It's a lot lighter. Yeah, it's a little shorter than it should be, but yep. Woohoo! Yay! Cool, great.
Great.
Any girls want to come up?
One
Spin
lady.
your nunchucks.
Just bring a lady.
Come in. Okay. It's okay. I can teach you a few.
Free lesson.
Okay, cool. So first, spin your nunchucks with your wrist. Because a lot of people would do this, but this is not really doing nunchucks. It's moving with your wrist. See? Your wrist. Okay. And then tap, tap. Yeah, catch it. Yay. Catch. Good. And then catch again with the other side. Yes. Good job. Catch. Catch. And then spin again. And then here to the side. And thank you.
The most important is making those noise.
So yeah, I love making my own weapons when I was a kid. And after that, I went on to do Taekwondo. And then after I got my black belt, I got selected into the Hong Kong team representing Hong Kong to do the ITF Taekwondo World Championships, Asia Championships, China Open. And I think I'm one of the few that have fought North Korean athletes. So it was...
and they're pretty serious about their fighting.
They are super serious because to them, they're fighting for their family. If they lose, they might not be able to go home.
Yeah, no kimchi for the night.
Yeah. So right before my fight with the North Korean girl, the other weight group also have other North Korean girl fighting another, I think, Canadian girl. And then that Canadian girl was badly injured and has to take into the hospital. And then there were a lot more of those. Like every time the North Korean athlete was in the ring, they would knock people out cold. But I'm like, well, I'm competing. I have to win.
Yeah.
So I go up and fight with them. That's already I think it's my second fight of the day. The first one was with another Canadian girl from my weight group, and then with the North Korean girl. And luckily, I didn't get any injured. So it's already a win.
That's,
Yeah, and she went on to get her gold medal, and I became 4th place. Yeah, but
that's so rare to find an actress that actually has that experience. So do you find you channel some of that kind of that heightened energy when you're doing an actual fight scene?
It definitely helps as a real, as a person who actually be in the ring, to have that experience fighting in combat style, and then transform it into filmmaking. You know exactly how to be in the moment, reading your opponent. Although a lot of in films, everything is choreographed and pre-planned, but how can you make it real?
Yeah.
Right. That's come into my experience as a fighter, and also being able to memorize the choreography and make it seems natural. So that's why sometimes when people come from a fighting background only and then transform into acting, they might not be able to do this on-screen fighting as well as good as they normally do in the ring, because normal fighters, they don't remember the choreography, and to them it's kind of go against being a real fighter, because you don't memorize moves. You do it. You feed off with your partner, and then not your partner, but your opponent, and then you do your next move, right? So, but filming action and real action, it's completely different. Because the moves are different. When you are really fighting in the ring, you won't do big movements. Because if you do super big movement or do many spins, your opponent will see and catch you in the air. But when you are doing film, you want to make it beautiful, when you have to extend it and make it big and make it epic. So that requires 2 different skills. And I guess I have to say I'm very fortunate to have my background in real fighting, and also have background in dancing, because I started dancing since I was 3 years old. So for me, learning choreography and the rhythm and the pacing, the cadence, it's kind of natural for me. And combining it with real fighting for on-screen fighting become a big plus for me.
We need to work together soon. Well, that's my challenge always when coordinating, to have an actress that can bring that intensity that they're actually really going to hit somebody, instead of just moves. So it's like dialogue without the emotion behind it. So it's the moves without hurting somebody.
And experience does help. I remember, it was a funny story I can share. So after the Taekwondo championships, I got scouted to do Thai boxing for a gym in Hong Kong, and representing them for Hong Kong as well. So I was super ripped when I went for the Thai boxing championship, and I actually won that competition. And right after that, I got casted for my role in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So right after the fight, I think within 2 days, I flew to New Zealand and start training with the stunt team. And of course, I was super ripped and was in that beast mode, because I was just finished fighting. So I was practicing with training with the stunt people, and then they were like, "JuJu, you're too hard. Don't kill me. Don't kill me." So I was like, "Oh, I have to go for it." And then they were like, "Oh, this is film. It's fake. You don't really, put that much power." I'm like, yes, you're right. I just come off from fighting a real fight. But that's why as a fighter in the ring and fighter in a film, I have to constantly remind myself, I have to be aware. Because when I'm doing film, you have to be very controlled. You have to show the power, but you have to be controlled with your movement. You don't want to hurt the stuntman or hurt your fellow actor. So I learned a lot throughout these past few years working on different film projects, and also jumping in to fighting and on-screen choreography.
Okay.
And I think it's really fun.
What's the next level you want to take your career to?
I think there needs to be more female-driven action films.
Mm-hmm.
There are some, like Atomic Blonde, Chocolate by my friend JuJu, but there's not enough.
Okay.
Right now, and I think right now is the time, especially for the woman empowerment message is being stronger and stronger in all the industry. So for film, I think we need more content that allows strong female characters and action, especially in action film genre, to have more strong female roles. Because right now, most of the action films, yes, you can count a handful of female-led action films.
Right.
And people sometimes will say, "Oh, female action film doesn't do that well." Well, we don't have that much quantity to compare it with, 90% of action films are male. Of course, they have more succeeding rate.
Yeah.
So we just need more content and more people supporting strong female action-led films. And I think then we'll have more good content coming out. Because Hollywood and film industry is a money-driven industry.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that means females should really train.
Yes, that's
before that time comes up, because if somebody gets hired and you start in 2 weeks, that's nothing close to what you need as far as training time.
Yep. Training, there's no last minute thing. A lot of people think, I can just swing it last minute. No, it takes long time of practicing, dedication, discipline to be a real action person. And I mean, there are actually more and more girls going into martial arts, which is great. And I think if there are more opportunities and more girls starting to prepare themselves and ready for these roles, it will happen. Eventually, we'll have more really good action female films. Yeah.
And acting class.
And acting class is important.
Right. Any questions out here? Oh, our Nunchuck, Bruce Lee.
So, is there a means to do you have an idea on if you wanted to I'm trying to get something technical myself. And I was just kind of wondering, based on kind of this video of all this technology we have to the traditional way of this going up to doing casting, obviously, the thing I've recognized before too. But should we be making use of these media formats to try to get it out there as well?
So for becoming an actor, especially in Hollywood, you have to be prepared to work really, really, really hard. When there's no job, you are still working on your own craft. That's important. So I found my path to be concentrated in action. So do you say you want to be in action as well, or just act in general? Or in a specific? So that you can think about it too, because are you very good at comedy? So maybe as an actor, you should train in different ways, physical, being able to dance, sing, multiple language really helps. But of course, at the end of the day, it's still your acting skills. So first, you have to keep going to acting class. I know acting class is very expensive. Sometimes when I don't go to acting class, I'll find a group of actors, team up together. I call it an actors gym. I have everyone together. We run it like an acting class. We go through different sites and work in different genre every week and tape ourselves and give comments. Stuff like that will help you with your acting skills and be more aware of your own camera presence and all that. And then besides acting, then you have to figure out other skills. What can you bring to the roles? So being hardworking is not enough. And also rely on luck, of course, but how can you increase the chance of meeting, people? In this industry, you have to be proactive, create build your own network. So go out to meet people, director, actors, have a good support group. Everyone will, when there is an audition, tell you can go and audition. Because if it's just you yourself going down this journey is really lonely. You do want a group of friends who are also in this industry to support each other. No matter it's writer, director, producer, you have to go out and mingle with them and build your network. And then lastly, we'll be ready to accept failure. Because you can go out for 100 of auditions and none of them actually come back and tell you got the part. But doesn't mean that you are not good. It's just because the producer, director, casting director just want someone else, not because of your ability, it's because personal taste. So you can't judge yourself by saying, oh, they don't like me because I'm not good enough. No, you have to believe yourself. You did the work, you're prepared, you're ready. If it's not your time yet, don't be too depressed. Have to keep fighting, keep on working on your skills, and understand that it's audition decision is not personal. Yeah, it's really, producer making the decision. Doesn't mean that they don't like you, but you're just not right for them at this time. So it's a lot of times as an actor, you will be depressed because we work so hard and this is the best audition I can't tell you which audition it is, but I recently did a really good audition. I'm like, I nailed it. Even my agent called me, wow, we have really good feedback from the casting director. But I didn't get it because they changed direction of who they wanted for the role. Like they want someone like a lot younger sometimes I lost the role because I wasn't tall enough because they cast the male actor who is a lot taller. So I'm down to the final two. And then they pick the taller one to match with the other lead. So yeah, don't be too fed up when you don't get a part. But if that's what you really love doing, you want to become an actor, go for it and try your best and make your audition every time shine to the casting director and enjoy the process.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say there's so much swag and coolness on stage. It's really cool. So my question is, what really drives you, and what would you define as success? Did you already have a moment where you said to yourself, "Okay, I made it. This is like my life. I'm really successful now," or is that still something you're working towards?
I think the word success, a lot of the time, depending on different stage in life, you feel the success differently. Yes, when I win a part, when I got a role, I feel like, say Wu Assassins is my first TV show ever. I did a lot of films, but never did a TV show. I feel really accomplished saying, I got this role. I'm very happy. But am I successful? I'm far from being successful. No, I still need to work a lot harder to achieve what I wanted to. But I think don't let the word success makes you feel depressed because you feel like, oh, I'm not successful because I'm not that big star that I want to be yet. Especially in the acting world or in film industry. No matter you're an actor, fight choreographer, director, there's always competition. What's success? Is winning? You win a main lead in a film? That's a success. But okay, you might be successful for this film, but the next film might be a flop. So don't let the word success kind of I want to say don't make the word success to be too much of a matter to you. It can be a goal that you set. But if you don't achieve it, it's fine, because the most important thing is to enjoy the journey, and you know that you are doing what you want to do and you love what you're doing, and every day you live, like right now, I every time when I have an audition, I don't care whether I win the role or not. I just feel happy that I can perform and show the casting director what I can do. Thanks.
And we're out.
Okay.
Our time is up. There's he's getting the hook. Thank you so much. Actually, to me, I always look at stuff like this. It's a blessing for us to be able to share, and we get much more back for ourselves. So, thank you. And wait till this next guy comes out.